Good morning, Hojo staff, students, and families. Yate Abena. It's ready to start our day. So let's reach up, touch your head. If you have a hat or a hood, take it off. Place that right hand over your heart. Voices are off. Bodies are still. Standing respectfully. And we recite the Pledge of Allegiance together. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. Good morning, everyone. So today is Tuesday, April 7th, and let's go through some morning announcements. So first of all, hopefully everybody has had a chance to listen to the new piece of music that Mrs. Neff has put on YouTube. So I'm going to play a little bit for you and see if you can remember the composer and the name of this piece that she just taught you yesterday. And maybe you haven't had a chance to listen to it yet, and this is the first time you're hearing it. So either way, we're not going to play much of it, just a little bit to get started. But tell me if you can remember the name of the composer and the piece. Okay, friends, what is the name of this piece? It's an excerpt from, did you say New World Symphony? You're correct. And the composer that Mrs. Neff told us about? Antonin Dvorak. Nice job if you got that. So let's listen to something probably more familiar and see if you can remember this one. I'm sure you know the name of it, but can you remember who the composers are? Okay, friends, I'm sure you can remember that. I hope I hear you shouting it out. So the name of that piece is America the Beautiful. That's right. And do you remember there are two composers, one for the music and one for the lyrics. Do you remember their names? Samuel Ward and Catherine Bates. Did you remember that? I bet you some of you did. So good job. So for art today, if you can see here in the background behind my shoulder, I have a piece. I'm going to see if I can get it a little closer. Hopefully there's not too much of a glare. Okay, since it's smaller, I can bring it a little closer. Do you remember the name of this piece? The title of it sort of is tied into what you can see here. There's a young boy and he's wearing a suit that is what color? That's right. So if you said the boy blue, then you are correct. And the name of the artist? This one's a tough one. That's Thomas Gainsborough. If you got that correct, you are an excellent art student because it's been a while since we've gone over this one. So the boy blue, Thomas Gainsborough. Okay, friends. So for our poem today, I have a selection also from the 4th grade. Let's hold my place in that book and open up this book. And we have an African-American poet named Eloise Greenfield who wrote a poem for us to enjoy, and it's called Things. Went to the corner, walked in the store, bought me some candy, ain't got it no more, ain't got it no more. Went to the beach, played on the shore, built me a sand house, ain't got it no more, ain't got it no more. Went to the kitchen, lay down on the floor, made me a poem, still got it, still got it. And we still have her poem here. And she's 90 years old or more. And we're still reading that poem. And we'll probably read it for many, many years. So do you see how she was saying, you can have things and things can come and go. But when you create something like a poem or a piece of art or a piece of music, it can live on for a long time. And since we've got lots of time on our hands right now, and you're home and looking for things to do, writing a story, or writing a poem, or creating a piece of art, or using a keyboard, or perhaps you have an instrument at home and start to create your own music, or learn to play somebody else's music, but learning how to play an instrument, those are skills that will stay with you. So I hope that you're making good use of this time. Okay, so let's see what's next on our list here. No birthdays today. Again, that's interesting. We usually have at least 1 or 2. Okay, so the next thing is our Declaration of Independence. Boy, we've been working hard on that lately, and we're almost to the end of the part that we have memorized. So once again, when was it ratified? The Declaration of Independence? July 4, 1776, that's right. And we were breaking away from what country? England or Great Britain, depending on how you want to refer to it, the British. And it was written by which president? Thomas Jefferson, who's our 3rd president. All right, let's do our first 5 presidents while we're thinking of it. So first president, George Washington. Second president, John Adams. 3rd president, we just said, Thomas Jefferson. 4th president, James Madison. 5th president, James Monroe. Hopefully you got those correct. And we'll keep practicing. I think we only got to about maybe 26 or 27 when we were doing it together. So we'll get at least that far and then continue on. So we talked about the Declaration of Independence, that sometimes when in the course of human events some things happen throughout history that make people have to make different choices and to dissolve those connections that we have with another country. And that the reason we are making this break is because we hold some things to be self-evident. That means obvious, that people have certain rights that they're given by their creator, not from a government. And that we don't need to have a king, especially one who is a dictator, an absolute despot, who tries to reduce us and make us smaller than what we can be. Because as humans, we'll always strive to be free. Remember we read the poem Maya Angelou, Why the Caged Bird Sings? It's part of human nature that we always will strive to be free, and that we will give our consent to be governed, so we'll follow the rules, but we just don't need a king taking away our rights, especially those given to us by our Creator. And we also understand that we shouldn't be getting rid of governments left and right whenever there are light and transient causes. because we know that it's mankind's nature also to suffer as long as evils are sufferable. So as long as you are able to take it, as long as you are able to manage it, that we will keep our systems of government. It's not like us to want to get rid of a system that we've become accustomed to. That's another thing about human nature, is that we really are fond of traditions and customs. And so sometimes we'll suffer through things just because it's a tradition or a custom, and we just don't, it makes us uncomfortable to uproot ourselves and to change everything. But if there's a long train of abuses and usurpations that make it so that these rights are taken away from us, it is our right, but it's also our duty. It's not just because we could change our government. It is our obligation. It is what we're supposed to do. We are supposed to change this because, you know, there are others who are counting on us. So for our future generations. And so we're adding this part here at the end where we say, such has been the patient sufferance of these colonies, and such is now the necessity which constrains them to alter their former systems of government. And do you know, I want to show you something. I am referring here, I have this U.S. Constitution reader, oops, with a little post-it note reminding me to do something later. I'll take that off. So the U.S. Constitution reader, and one of the first documents is the Declaration of Independence. And what we have memorized is all of this right here. Nice job. And then on to the next page, I'll show you, if I can get the page to turn, to about here, just like the first line or so. The rest of this we did not memorize. This would take a while. And the rest of this we did not memorize because it is the list of things that the colonists said were the causes which impelled them to this separation. The things that they felt that the King of England was doing that was causing us some grief, and that we needed, this is the long train of abuses, and so they laid them all out. And for those who have been studying the American Revolution, like for example, one of them is for cutting off our trade with all parts of the world, for imposing taxes on us without our consent, for depriving us in many cases of the benefits of a trial by jury. So basically they can accuse you of anything and put you in jail and sentence you without giving you a jury of your peers. And that's one of the things that we have set out as, in order for us to have our consent to be governed, there have to be some rules, and they have to be fair, and they have to not deprive us of our rights. And so we didn't memorize all of those lists of things. And then we did go to the very end where we said, and for the support of this declaration, with the firm reliance on the protection of divine providence. And what do we mean by divine providence? Right? We're talking again back about our Creator. We mutually pledge, we pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor. And we remember that if any of these people who had signed this declaration, or many of the Americans who fought in the Revolution, if the war had gone another way, and England was the most powerful nation on the earth at that time, and we were just a little country of a little colony of farmers. So if that had gone another way, which was more than likely what would have happened, they would have been charged with treason or high treason, punishable by death. And so they are pledging everything that they are and everything that they own for this cause. And so that's why it's so important for us to remember it. So let's do it together from the top. When in the course of human events it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and of nature's God entitle them, a decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to the separation. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed, that whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it, and to institute a new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. Prudence indeed will dictate that governments long established should not be changed for light and transient causes, and accordingly all experience have shown that mankind are more disposed to suffer while evils are sufferable than to right themselves by abolishing the forms to which they are accustomed. But when a long train of abuses and usurpations, pursuing invariably the same object, evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government and to provide new guards for their future security. Such has been the patient sufferance of these colonies, and such is now the necessity which constrains them to alter their former systems of government. And for the support of this declaration, with a firm reliance on the protection of divine providence, we mutually pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor. Nice job, everybody. Okay, so as far as the readathon goes, we do have some new levels I've told you about. So if you read 1500 minutes, then you're going to get this cool patriotic pencil and this cool eraser that we have to go with it. They haven't arrived yet. We've ordered them. If you've read 3000 minutes, you can get an art or a science kit, which this is one of the science kits that we have here. A little bit of chemistry maybe at home we can do. And we have some art kits and other things that are also coming. So if you've read 3000 minutes, then you can have that. And we do have a number of people who have earned both the pencil and the art kit so far. And that's Elijah in Miss Ferguson's class, Taylor in Mr. Green's class, Damien in Miss Rice's class, Kimber in Miss Marshall's class, Kelly in Miss Stefke's class, and Clinton in Mr. Berg's class. Nice job for earning that already. Then if you've read 5000 minutes, you have a little cinch bag here. You can keep all your books in it that you've read, or the new ones that you want to read. Whoop, just like that. Hojo cinch bag. These are rare and so very valuable. So 5000 minutes that you've read by the end of the school year, so by May 22nd. Then you can have that cinch bag. And so we have Harshi in Miss Stefke's class, who has earned the art kit, the pencil and eraser, and the cinch bag. And then we have, if you get to 7,000 minutes, you get to choose. We have some decals for your car window. And then if you get to 10,000 minutes, you get to get a t-shirt, Hojo Wolves t-shirt, also very rare. And if you get to 12,000 minutes, then you're going to earn a tablet. So something similar to this that you can probably Kindle Fire or something like that, or some other similar tablet. So we do have 2 students who have already earned all of those prizes and have read more than 12,000 minutes, and that's Cabrin in Miss Stefke's class and Quinton in Miss Wilson's class. So excellent job. And so we'll also have a special prize for those students who are in the top 5 readers in our whole school for minutes. Now you can, if you're in kindergarten, maybe you can't read, you know, War and Peace, Dostoevsky's War and Peace, but you might be able to have somebody read to you as many minutes as they have available. Don't nag, but just ask politely and say, would you please read with me, because I'd like to get some minutes for my readathon. So that's all we have for announcements. Just remember to stay safe, stay home, stay safe. If you need to come in to get a lunch or a breakfast, you do need to bring your own bag, apparently, along with all the other paper products in the world, because every school in the nation is now giving lunches out. There are no more brown paper bags or other bags. They're just hard to come by. So if you can bring your own bag, and then we are ordering some reusable ones that you can bring every day, and we will put your breakfast and lunch in those, and you can get your lunch that way. Remember to keep doing your work. Go on to Class Dojo or to Edmodo, depending on which class that you have, and do your work and do your reading, and make sure you're obeying your parents and following directions and getting along with your family and trying to be helpful. So stay healthy and stay home for now. So that's all we have. So let's do our student pledge. I will do the good, I will learn the true, and I will love the beautiful. And I hope you have a great day today.